Boom. All right. Bourbon Quest. It's your host, Bourbon Steve. All right. What we got? Whew. Day 14 of the Advent calendar. That's right. So, what do we have tonight? We've got a little Evan Williams single barrel. So, let's take another closer look at that bottle. Evan Williams, Heaven Hill, and single barrel. So, Kentucky's first distiller, put into oak 2013. Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, single barrel vintage, 86.6 proof. This bourbon was personally selected by our master distiller only after meeting his exacting standards for this vintage. Taken from a single barrel, it is the art of bourbon making at its finest. Bottled unblended with other barrels to preserve its individuality. Hand numbered as a sign of a limited availability. Barreled on February the 7th, 2013. Barrel number 305. And bottled on March 11th, 21. So, what is that? 8 years? 7? Yeah, 8 years. So a little over 8 years. 8 years and a month. Single barrel, 86.6 proof. Little tag, smooth tasting, high ratings. Typically bourbon. Well, let's go. Let's see. Skip the page. There's bourbon, single barrel bourbon, and Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon. Typically, bourbon is blended of many barrels. Bourbon bottled from a single barrel is categorized as single barrel bourbon. Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon, however, is much more. It's the only single barrel bourbon bottled with a vintage date to provide proof of age and the subtle year-to-year distinctions found in fine wines. What a difference a date makes. Whiskey of the year after year after year. Evan Williams single barrel bourbon continues to receive awards and accolades year after year in recognition of its superior qualities. The following are but a few: Whiskey of the Year, Domestic Whiskey of the Year, Spirit of the Year, Bourbon category, more accolades. This distillery has issued a vintage Evan Williams bottling every year since 1986, and each year the whiskey has been better than the previous bottling. Wine enthusiast. Uncork a bottle of Evan Williams single barrel vintage bourbon for a date you always remember. All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's put a little whiskey in our glass. There we go. So, if you have this, feel free to drink along with me as we do a little review and tasting of Evan Williams single barrel. Like dark cherry, vanilla. What's that? Some touch of spice. Just dark cherry, vanilla, and caramel with a little bit of spice in there. Not overly complex on the nose, just your typical classic bourbon notes with the main things coming out is dark cherry, vanilla, caramel, and some spice, bacon spice. Nice on the nose, not complex at all, but cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, I get a lot of like nuttiness, and then dark cherry, caramel, vanilla. That's all I can say is really what you get. You'll get a lot of dark cherry. And as always, remember, stay hydrated, my friends. Yeah, same thing on the nose. Nothing complex or overbearing or nothing negative either. Just not a lot of complexity, just simple bourbon notes in there. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, more of that dark cherry, some dark chocolate, and then vanilla, caramel. Very good. 86 proof, light finish. So not much of a finish, not a lot of complexity, but it's definitely an easy sipper, definitely a crushable bottle, enjoyable, probably great for a cocktail or obviously drinking neat, but not. I'm not getting anything out of the ordinary or extraordinary. Just a damn good single barrel bourbon. One more sip. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah, I mean, good on the palate. Those classic bourbon notes with dark cherry and chocolate and vanilla and caramel. A little baking spice. Nothing more than that, nothing less. I would classify this as a good, definitely easy sipper, daily sipper. I forget exactly how much it is, but it's definitely a budget bourbon, especially for a single barrel. I want to say $35, give or take, right in that ballpark, which I think is good for this single barrel. Maybe even less than that. I don't know for sure. I don't remember, didn't recall. I knew it wasn't, expensive and very good for a good single barrel daily sipper. I would definitely, have this as a daily sipper and probably something to introduce new people into bourbon. At only 86.6 proof, like I said, there's not a lot of complexity, not a lot of, punch in there, just a good, easy bourbon, especially for someone that's just getting into bourbon, or to be used in a cocktail, or for daily sipping bourbon. I think it's good for that. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Evan Williams single barrel. And of course, with being a single barrel, they are going to vary from bottle to bottle, barrel to barrel. But my experience with this has been good. I'd go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It's, for its price point and for what it is, I mean, it's good. It's not anything to, that's extraordinary or going to knock your socks off, but it's not going to disappoint either, in my opinion. Just a good daily sipper. So, but if you've got something different in your glass tonight, let me know what you're drinking on. And obviously, if you haven't already done so, please click that subscribe button. Takes a second. Ring that bell for notifications. That way you know when each and every video comes out. And then smash the like button if you like the content that I'm bringing. And feel free to leave your comments. Always interested in those. And let me know what your thoughts are on this bottle and what's in your glass. And if you've got any suggestions, ideas, or things you'd like to see, I'm open to those too. But we'll go ahead and close it out. I'm not going to pour anymore, just finish what little bit's in the glass. And say farewell to you for this evening. And we'll be back again, obviously, tomorrow as the Advent calendar continues. But I'll just close out with saying, as always, my wish for you is that all your Bourbon Quest dreams come true. Thanks for tuning in, Bourbon Quest. Good night, and we'll see you again tomorrow. That's a wrap. Woohoo!